that I'm in the retiring years of my ministerial life, I would say one of my greatest satisfactions was reading the council documents on the priesthood and discovering that the primary role of a priest was to preach the gospel. I've reflected on that a lot as the years have gone by, and of course there's a certain logic there that if the gospel isn't preached, well, nothing else makes much sense in the church. So I guess I've devoted a fair bit of time now to trying to study the Gospels and share that knowledge with others. So in a sense, if I was looking for something to look back with a degree of satisfaction, I would say that would be maybe at the top of the list.
I've been a priest now for 50 years. It seems quite incredible that it's been that long. It hasn't seemed to be that long. It's never been boring. I really have loved and enjoyed being a priest, especially of the Diocese of Rockhampton. Why do I like being a priest? I mainly like being a priest because of the people I get involved with. I've been I've been very, very lucky. I've been in so many different ministries in the church and in the diocese. I've had the opportunities of being in country parishes and city parishes and the cathedral. I've done a lot of work with, for some years I was director of youth in the diocese, and that was a great opportunity to get to know young people, including homeless young people. We did a lot of work with them. I work with Aboriginal people, especially at Warrabinda, but also in Rockhampton and Theodore. I've had some extraordinary experiences. Then I was ministry to priest for 26 years. Not too many people have a variety of experiences that I've had.
When I do look back at short notice, I suppose those younger years of ministry, especially when I was in Longreach, where I spent 7 years as a fairly young priest, I look back with them on a lot of affection. I was still young enough and active enough to be involved with young people and sport, which of course had always been a love of my life. So that, yes, Longreach has always a soft spot in my memory and in my heart. It was a very welcoming place. It was a very community-minded place, not only within the church community, but within the wider town community. So that, Longreach does have some fond memories for me, and I still remember a lot of those as they were then young people. I remember going back, a few years ago to do some relief work, and was rather surprised to find out that all those young people were grandparents, and couldn't believe where all the years had gone in between.
As a priest, I've been welcomed into so many homes and gone through so many doors, been with people in their joys and in their sorrows, when they're finding a life hard or when they're finding life easy. I've been welcomed into homes, and one of the prime things I've loved is visitation, visiting people in their homes, in the hospital, visiting them socially and also ministering as much as I could. I've always received more than I've given, and St. Francis's prayers, "In giving you receive," seem to resonate with me a lot as a priest. I love being a priest because of the people, because of the encounter I've had with the people, and knowing that I can bring something to their lives and they can bring something to my life.
Just a little scriptural quote bobs into mind, where Jesus sort of, in a sense, encouraged his first 12 because they had left everything to follow him. I suppose in some senses the priesthood is still a little bit like that. We didn't become priests to make a financial success of our lives, but by the same token, the words of Jesus were rather prophetic, because in leaving well, what we might say, everything, the opportunity for family, for a business career or a professional career, whatever it happened to be. Really, my experience is we never wanted for anything. In fact, sometimes I've found it a little bit embarrassing to realise how well off we are compared with a lot of people out in the real wide world who have to make it with their own resources. So that I suppose that has been in a sense a blessing, and I'd like to thank on behalf of maybe all the other retired priests the care that the diocese has offered to us, not only while we were working in parishes but now that we are retired, because I'm sure we'd all find that still to be true, that virtually we want for nothing. So thank you very much for your continued support.